This is how much it costs me to live each month in the Dominican Republic. Now, I want to preface this by saying the cost to live in the Dominican Republic is going to vary widely depending on what area, what location that you choose. It's very much similar to the United States in that there are lower income areas, middle class, and upper income areas. So it depends on what you're comfortable with and what your budget is. Now, I specifically want to talk about Punta Cana because I've seen videos circling around on social media that Punta Cana is expensive. It costs a lot of money to live here. It's not as cheap as everybody makes it out to be. I actually want to debunk that because it's also not as expensive as what they're making it out to be, especially if you know where exactly to look. And I'm not talking about the lower income areas. There are nice areas that are middle class that are still a hell of a lot cheaper than the United States. But make sure to stick around until the end because I'm also going to go over the items that are more expensive here than in the United States. So let's go over the first item, rent or mortgage. So a lot of people when they move to the island, they want to buy something right away. I took a different approach and decided to travel around and see what areas I liked best. I have rented a couple apartments since I've been here in the Punta Cana area. Since I'm specifically talking about my experience, I'm just going to eliminate Cap Cana because I don't have a ton of experience living in the Cap Cana area, which is more of the higher income. I've been more so in the middle class, which is a Bavaro, and even in the lower income in Baron, which I did rent a one bedroom studio apartment for $380 a month there. It was in a pocket that was pretty quiet and never felt unsafe. And it was very convenient because it was close to my gym, it was close to supermarkets. So I literally could walk to all areas and I felt comfortable walking there. Now, that apartment was a little bit small, and then I did add two dogs that you'll probably see running around in my video to the family. So I wanted something a little bit bigger for me and my partner and our two dogs. And so I found this two-bedroom, fully furnished apartment in a gated community with 9 swimming pools for $600 a month. It also includes internet. So I was able to eliminate that from my expenses because that was included in the rent price. Which, if we compare that to the States, right now, you'd be hard pressed to find a two-bedroom apartment anything less than $1,000 a month. I'm betting it's been a while since I've been in the States, but I'm betting it would be closer to 2000. You guys comment below how much you guys are paying for rent and where you live at. Also, check out the link in my bio because I have a list of some of the major apartment complexes in Bávaro, Punta Cana that's centrally located to everything. And you can find some really good deals if you're on a budget. So, my next biggest expense for me personally, because I don't do a ton of cooking, so I eat out a lot. And I do enjoy the island. So sometimes I plan trips, I go on excursions. I have a gym membership. So I included all my miscellaneous and eating out, which came to about $500 a month. Next item on the list, groceries. So I went back and calculated, and I spent on average about $400 a month on groceries. Now, next on my list would have been internet, which the major internet provider here and the best is Claro. So if you don't have that, get it set up. And it was $50 a month before, but I was able to eliminate that expense with it being included in my rent. Gas also is super cheap. So you can buy a gas tank. Usually, most of the stoves, dryers here, a lot of them function with gas and not electricity. I'm sure there are other areas, maybe like Cap Cana, that has more so the American amenities, but here gas is prevalent. So you'll buy a gas tank for, $5 or $10, and it may cost $10 to fill up, and that should last you for 6 months. Maybe a little more or less, depending on how much you cook. So if you're a big cooker, it could be less. If you hardly cook like me, it may last you a year. Electricity here is actually a little bit more expensive than I thought would be because it gets hot here in the summer months. In June, July, and August, the heat is crazy. And a lot of times I want to have my AC running. Right now it's February, so it's still hot during the day, but not unbearable. So as you can see right now, or not see, but you can hear, I have a fan going. So I really keep my air conditioning off during the day, keep a fan going, and then at night when I sleep, we turn the AC on in the room. And just using the air conditioner at night, and then maybe sometimes during the day when it's really hot, right now in the winter months, it's $150 a month for electricity. Now I'm estimating during the summertime when I'm running the air conditioner more, which is like where I'm dying of heat, that's probably going to double to $300 a month. Another thing is I don't have a car here, so I get around on by using motor controls and Ubers, which are pretty cheap forms of transportation. And where I'm located in Bávaro, Punta Cana, is pretty central to supermarkets, to my gym, to every store that I would need, to banks. And so a lot of places I just walk. But if I don't feel like walking, I typically take a motor control for like $2 or an Uber for $2. They're really cheap to get around in my town. And so I estimated by the end of the month, I typically spend about $200 on transportation. Now, if we add up all of these expenses, we come to 1850. So it's very possible to live in the Dominican Republic for less than $2,000 a month. And this is Punta Cana, which is in fact one of the more expensive locations of the island. Although it's cheaper than the States, it's one of the most expensive on the island. You can definitely find better deals in other parts of the island, like Santiago, Santo Domingo, Higüey, which are going to be catered more for the locals. Here, it's more for tourists and expats, and a lot of Dominicans come here just to work. A lot of Dominicans that I've met are not actually from Punta Cana. They've traveled from other parts of the country just for the job opportunities. So, yes, the prices here are going to be more expensive, but if you go to another part of the island, your expenses could go down to 1,500, 1,000. I know Dominicans living here in Punta Cana for less than $1,000 a month. So, it really all depends on what lifestyle you want, your comfort level, and your budget. So don't let anybody tell you that Punta Cana is so expensive. Granted, there are areas in Punta Cana that are really expensive, but there are also other nice areas, comfortable areas that are not. Now, if you are thinking about moving to Punta Cana or the Dominican Republic in general, and you have some questions, you can book a consultation with me completely free. I just ask for tips. So, whatever questions that you have, throw them at me, and I'd be happy to answer with the knowledge that I've had. I've been here for 2 years so far. I've absolutely loved the island, and I feel like it's the best decision I made in my life. I also have a living in Punta Cana on a budget guide. So if you're looking for some of the best restaurants, banks, your dentists, doctors, hospitals, things like that, pretty much life in Punta Cana, I have all my recommendations and referrals there. Okay, now let's dive into some of the things that are more expensive here on the island. With the first being gasoline. Gas per gallon here is between $4 to $5. Now I'm coming from the south, and so in Georgia, I believe the gas prices right now in February 2026 are like around $2. So gas is more expensive. Another item that's more expensive here in the Dominican Republic is cars. I've seen cars double the price than in the United States. And it's because the cars here are imported. And so they have taxes, other fees that they have to add on to it. So cars are definitely more expensive here. Another thing that's more expensive here are electronics. The same thing, they're imported here, and the taxes, import costs are through the roof. So there you have it. It's my cost to live in the Dominican Republic, as well as some items that are more expensive here. Just want to give you a realistic view and my perspective. Of course, everybody's perspective and everybody's cost here are going to be a little bit different. There are some people here that live on this island much cheaper than what I'm living here. And there are some people that live on this island and they're spending much more. But it depends on what lifestyle you want and your budget. And if this is something that you're interested in, I'm going to be putting out more videos on my life here in Punta Cana, realistic look I'm just telling you like it is. Look, I want you guys to live your best life. I want you to be able to retire early if you can. You don't have to wait until you're 65 until you retire to move out and live your dream life on an island. You can do it right now. It's very possible. If you're interested in more content like this, I'll be putting out more videos on a weekly basis. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and share with somebody you think may be interested in moving to Punta Cana.